there are also ways and modes of behavior on Turong which are not included in the 13 classical Dhutanga rules, and one of the rules, Ajahn Tongdang, he told me that if you enter a creek, a river, or a cave or something, or if you urinate in the forest, or you do anything that intrudes into nature somehow, mentally ask for permission. Permission from whoever lives there, who might not be visible and who might be intelligent or even powerful. So there's one example. I stayed in a branch monastery of Lumpu Jia, a very remote place, a huge overhang with some platforms where you can spend the night comfortably under a huge overhang, protected from weather. But that's what the Thais call a cave, but it's not a real cave. In Pali you have the difference between Lena and Guha, so that would be Lena, just a rock shelter. In that rock shelter there was an entrance into a real cave, a Guha, and you could enter it via a very shaky, rotten bamboo ladder about 8 meters high, and as a layman I used to be a caver, a speleologist in my free time. So I took my torch and put on an old sabong and entered that cave. And the monk who lived there, one monk there, he never had been in there, in that cave. And monks, Thai monks don't really like real caves so much because they're afraid of ghosts, and of course I'm not so afraid of ghosts. And thought, yeah, well, the pretas, they do exist, but they are pitiable beings and they can't really harm you, it's only your own fear. And so I went into that cave, and in the cave there were some strange wooden structures, looked like bones, but they were made out of wood, about 2 meters long, like a thigh bone made out of wood. And I found it a bit of a strange place, and later I found out that the Kari young people, they threw corpses into there, and who knows what else kind of strange rituals they might have performed there. Well, at any rate, there was also a copperhead racer snake, a snake. I usually get along with snakes really well, and Wat Banana Chat, I had 2 days I had a copperhead racer in my kuti, which just rested in the door, in the window frame, and they sometimes kind of be a bit nervous, but usually snakes are quite sabai, really relaxed in my presence. And so I took a picture of that snake, and after the second picture the snake suddenly raised its head and looked at me, and from that very moment I felt strange, somehow altered in my mental constitution. And then I left the cave, and the first thing that I noticed was that I climbed down this shaky old ladder without being scared a bit, and that's not my normal mode of behavior. And then I went to take a bath to wash off all the dirt, and I noticed that somehow I felt a bit foggy in my mind, and I thought I had to shave, and then I returned from having a bath and I thought I had to shave, and I touched my face and I noticed, well, I'm shaven already. But I didn't remember that I did shave my face, my beard. And so this memory was completely gone, but then I started getting memories of ancient times, like a historical movie of Thailand, the time of fall of Ayutthaya. I saw people with these old-fashioned hairstyle and the old costumes, and like memories. These were memories coming up. But they were not my own memories, I'm sure. That they were not past life memories. There was no connection to them. But my own memories, there were many things I couldn't remember. The first thing I tried, do I remember my name? And yeah, I did remember my name, but I wasn't really sure about it, as if I had taken some drugs or whatever. And so I told my companions, I have to return to my Dhyan and be alone for a while. I got a bit of a problem, and then I tried to do protective practices like vipassisa, atanatya, parita, and Metta Sutta, and all these texts which I have recited hundreds of times, but I just couldn't remember them. I just didn't remember them, and I tried to spread metta, but then I had realized that I was somehow in possession of another being, and I tried to spread loving kindness and dedicate merits, but I didn't really get through to it. I didn't know how to do it. I was not really under control anymore. And then at a certain time I thought, well, this is it. I'm going to get crazy, and I'm losing it. I'm probably going to die now, or tonight, or whatever. And then it came to my mind, maybe I do a Satchakriya, an utterance of truth, and I said, I'm a bhikkhu who keeps his Vinaya strictly, and don't, by the utterance of this truth, don't bother virtuous bhikkhu. And at that very moment I felt a little bit, the grip loosened up a little bit. And later I went Jongkrom, walking meditation near, under this overhang, and then I reflected on this being in the cave, being stuck there, and maybe hundreds of years, and not able to be reborn in a useful way to practice the Dhamma. And then the compassion really broke through finally. And at that moment when I really could send loving kindness to that being in that cave, I was free again, and stood there on the Jongkrom path, and piti, rapture, pervaded my whole body, and I could remember everything, like how I shaved, and went back to my dhyana and sat down and recited the Patimokkha just to see if I could remember things again. Yeah, everything was there again, and afterwards I told Ajahn Tongdang about it, and he said, yeah, this was an asura taking possession of you, and the next time you don't go with this gung-ho conqueror attitude of mind into a cave again. And he said, without the power of samadhi I probably would have lost it really, and just sati a little bit weak, otherwise I would have noticed earlier. But he said, ask permission next time, become more humble.